Hey everyone, it's me, it's Michael B. So thank you so much everybody for joining the chat tonight. Chill and chat with Michael B. It's a bit of a different episode. I want to talk about the massive mistake I did of trying to move my arcade and the common sense that I didn't have when I needed it. And also, we're going to do a little of Ask Me Anything. Really, this whole show is going to be about Ask Me Anything. It's about you guys asking me questions. Ever since I started this is mainly what this has been about. It was kind of a fluke where I got a new microphone and wanted to try it out, and it just was so much fun connecting with you guys that I've started to do it every single Monday night, and I am having so much fun. 10-second shutter, that's funny. Alright, so let's take a look. We got so many people in the chat already. This is awesome. Hollywood Polo, my day was really good, man. Todd Cottrell, Jeff Wiltison, Adam 12, Bill M. I've seen Bill M here a lot. Sling Spade, Stephen C, Mr. Chip, Todd Cottrell. Did I mention Todd already? Alright, let's go down and find some more of the new people. I saw Mad Dead's in here. What's happening? Pete Mapano, I hope I said that right, Pete. If not, I'm very sorry. Brad O'Connell, Ness Addict is here. Ness Addict, my friend, always tunes in, even though he's not really into Arcade1Up. I'll turn you to the dark side yet. Conti, Markel, who else do we got? Agent Chris, Joseph Ng, Bob Oif, Alex T. Any famous Hollywood celebrities here? I don't know about Hollywood, but if WKRP in Cincinnati shows up, he's definitely Canadian famous. Jeff Rainwater. Who else? Alfred Berger. 8-Bit Vinyl. Let's see. Alright, Markel. Let's get started, guys. Round of Gaming. What's happening? Shotgun Sean. Shane. Everybody. So good to see you tonight. So, the main topic I wanted to talk about, I don't know if some of you guys have been following me, M. Tucker. I know I posted it in the Canadian Arcade1Up fan page, and I posted it on my social media account as well. You know I've been struggling ever since right around Christmas time because I'm running out of room in my game room. So I had lots of broad ideas that I would have. Schnid 2000, yes, you were here. Steve Victoria, there's so many awesome people here. Thank you so much. So I had this bright idea. First off, I knew that I could make room in my game room because eventually I would be taking my Legends Ultimate, and my II Arcade out of my game room and bringing them to my streaming room. So that would make some room. So that was the idea. But of course, then I bought 3 Arcade1Up pinball machines and that room disappeared. So then I was like, okay, well, you know what? My wife, I talked to her about it and I said, what if I give you this room back for storage and I also put my gym equipment in here? So the big long room that I have my arcade in would become storage and gym equipment again. And I would move my arcades out to my old gaming room. And I would also use the old gym area as kind of overflow, or maybe that would become my pinball room. So I went through the process of moving everything. Before anybody makes fun of me here now, I did measure. So I measured and I got all my dimensions right. And I was like, this is going to work. I can do 3 rows in the old gaming row because even though it's not as big a room, it's a lot wider, so there's additional room. I can do 3 rows across, and then out in the area where my gym equipment is, which is a kitchen, because it used to be at an apartment downstairs in our basement, I can do overflow, and I can probably fit, I did the math on it, and I was like, I could probably fit 25 cabs in this area. Based on math and based on predictability, that's what I came up with. So what I did was I played the world's biggest game of Tetris, and it took me a full three days and 3 nights of every bit of spare time I had to basically, first thing I had to do was I had to move a couple things around in my arcade, and then I had to move my weight stuff in there. I have a home gym. Now, for some people, you're like, oh, you're just complaining, Mike. It can't be that bad. Well, moving the weights isn't that bad. Moving the, free bench that I have there wasn't that bad. But I have, this overpowering giant, gym equipment thing with weights and pieces that I had to take apart, then take all the individual plates that come from it, bring them in one by one, and then figure out some way to get this giant contraption into my old arcade. So I did that. And that was the first step. Then I had to take all the arcades out. This was part 2 of Tetris. All the arcades went out into the old gym room. Then I had to clean out my storage room and put it in the spot where that was. So then I did that, and, we're on to day 3. I start moving everything around, and my math was wrong. So I start putting the arcades in there, and I start putting them in place of how I envisioned this. And what I did was I forgot about the corners. So when Pete Hubs, the punchline is Michael B was using Common Core math and really messed up. Thank you so much for the super chat, Pete Hubs. Yes, I don't know if I was using Common Core math. I'll explain it to you. So I did my line of cabinets, and it showed at, what was it? It showed at, I can't remember, something like 72 inches for 5 cabinets or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the math was. So I was like, wow, I can fit so many in here. And then when I went into the room, I had to do that, but then it's a square room, more of a square instead of a line. So I was going to turn the corner and go right around with this U shape on one side and then do another row up the middle. When I actually turned the corner, Zohar, I am never moving them again, ever. If I ever say anything on YouTube, on Facebook, on any social media platform about me moving this arcade again into the other spaces, dear God, stop me, because last week was one of the worst weeks of my entire life moving this stuff. I was so tired when it was all done. It was the worst idea I ever had. So I moved all this stuff out there, and my wife came down and she goes, this is going to look terrible. It's not going to work. You had this beautiful arcade in the other room, and now you've gone and ruined it. And I was like, maybe, but just give me a chance to get it done. I know. I wish I could knock down walls. The problem with knocking down the walls is the fact that have any pictures of the debacle to share. I do have pictures of the debacle, but I don't have them ready. For the people, like, the pictures of the debacle are all on the thumbnail right there. That's like pretty much all the pictures I got. You can see in one, which was me, on one side of me is when I first started moving my arcades, when I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to get to work because I was going to make so much more room so I could go buy Outrun and everything else I wanted. And then you see on the other side when I had everything in the room and realized there's not a lot of space. Who shuffled this? You can move them to my house. I'll find a room. Yeah, I heard a lot of people say that. Yeah, I didn't use the measure and then add 3 rule. So anyways, I moved everything and it didn't work. I realized it didn't work. Luckily, I wasn't finished because in the room I was moving everything to, I have about 6,000 DVDs on racks all up against one wall. And I was going to take all those racks out and put them in the storage area, which would mean I would have to take all the DVDs out and then put them back in. Luckily, I realized I didn't have the space before that. I went up and told my wife, and then my wife, I don't know if I told you guys this, she actually videotaped me telling her she was right and I was wrong. So now she has that video and she shows that all the time. So then I went through the process of changing everything around again. But some good did come out of it, because what I realized was I was out of space. So I was going to have to do something I thought I would never do. What are DVDs? DVDs are what us old people used to do to watch movies before streaming was available. Before that, we used to have VHSs, and I'll tell you guys something that you probably don't know about me. I still have a VHS collection. It's up to my parents. I share it with my parents. I got an amazing horror VHS collection. I probably got about 400 horror movies from the 80s and 90s on VHS, so yeah. But DVDs, that's kind of what it turned into, and I've kept them. Now, we never use them at all, because everything we want to watch is pretty much on streaming right now. It's a rare occurrence where we'll exhaust every streaming platform available, and then try to find another way, and then we'll finally go downstairs and find the DVD and watch it that way, or Blu-ray, or 4K Blu-ray. Hollywood, you're a pinball rock star. Hollywood really is a pinball rock star. So I moved everything back, and I realized that I was finally going to have to sell some cabinets. So I've got a really cool story for you about this. I put my cabinets up on local Facebook, the ones that I was going to sell. So I decided I was going to sell the cabinets I was consolidating. So I was going to sell Rampage, Final Fight, Street Fighter 2, and Mortal Kombat. Now, when I put these up, I thought for sure I was going to be able to sell Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat because very popular arcade games. Do I have any DVDs starting with X? I do. So I can't remember what movie it's from. Maybe I don't tell that story, Stu. I have X-Files. I have the X-Files movie. So I put up my 4 Arcade1Ups that I was going to sell online, and I figured for sure Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat would sell. Not a problem. Anyways, the one that sold really, really fast and people were really crazy about was Rampage. And of course I expected it. I mean, it's Rampage. Everybody wants Rampage. It's hard to come across. But I didn't know there was actually a community here in Newfoundland, where I'm too, of Arcade1Up collectors. So I sold my Rampage cabinet and I brought it to the guy, and he mentioned to me that, he's been looking for it for a while. So anyways, I dropped it off. I got home again, and then I got a second message, and he said, "Are you the guy that's also selling Final Fight too?" And I was like, "Yeah." So anyways, I then sold him my Final Fight, gave him a little bit of a discount, and he wanted to trade a, what was it? So he gave me some cash. He didn't have enough to pay what I was asking for it, but he said, "I'll give you this much, and I'll also throw in a Numbskull Pac-Man cabinet." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever, man." Like, mainly I was just trying to help him out because he bought the other cabinet. Yes, thank you so much, Zohar. Thank you for the super chat. I'm glad that you liked the video, and I hope you got the quick release Legends Pedestal. That's my favorite of the two, of course, because it's just so easy. My Legends Pedestal, you can't really see it. It's just right over there. Did I get a lot for Rampage? No, I sold it pretty reasonably. So you have to understand, for my Rampage cabinet, I also bought a riser. So I bought my Rampage for $200 used. I bought a riser, and then I also bought a aftermarket marquee. So I put like another $250 into it all told the time it was done. I also had to buy a deck protector and another deck. So $250, $300 I put into my Rampage after I bought it. And I ended up just selling it with all that stuff included for $400. And then I sold my Final Fight for $300 with, then he gave me the Pac-Man, but mainly I just wanted to help him out. So anyways, when I dropped off the Final Fight, he let me in, and we had been talking throughout the day, and it turns out that he's actually a big fan of like Arcade1Up, YouTube. He's got a room just like me with a ton of cabinets in it, and he's got a real pinball table. And we started talking, and he said, "Hey, I got this guy that's going to come over and look at the machines you're bringing to me, because he is my pinball guy." And of course I know there's only like one pinball guy that fixes pinball tables in all of Newfoundland. And I was like, his name wouldn't be Chris, would it? So I've got a friend, Chris Kelly, I've known for years. And yeah, sure enough, that was his pinball guy. So I went in, Chris was already there. We got to hang out and talk about arcades and pinball all night. He let me in on some really cool information, and I got to play. If you guys saw my Facebook post or my YouTube post, and I might have been on Twitter too, I got to play the last pinball table Williams ever made, which is the Star Wars Episode 1, that Revenge from Mars styled pinball table. So I got to play that, and that was really super dope. And then I got to check out like a couple Arcade1Up cabinets that Mike, the guy I sold my cabinets to, had that I didn't have. So I got to play Big Buck Hunter World, and that was okay. I'm glad I didn't go with Buck Hunter afterwards. I think it's really cool, but it's definitely not something I would have put a ton of time into myself. However, he did have Sit Down Outrun, and I played that to death. It was 50 Shades of Arcade, P-dubs. Anyways, I played Outrun, and that was really super fun. So Outrun is back on my horizon, and I'm definitely going to possibly pick that up. I just got to figure out where it's going to go, which is constantly the challenge. So yes, I did go to a stranger's house, but he ended up being a really super cool guy. He's got a really interesting story. He's actually, he was injured years ago, so he has some impairments, but he doesn't let that stop him from still enjoying arcades. He doesn't let that stop him from enjoying the hobby, the passion with everybody. So he was a super cool guy, and I made a new friend out of it. And he was so excited because he wrote me at one point and he said, "You wouldn't happen to be a genie, would you?" And anyways, apparently he had saw me on YouTube before, so we had that going for us. And he's a big fan of Cool Toy, Retro Ralph, all those guys. So yeah, I had a lot of fun bringing that over. So that ended up being a good thing. I sold my, what was the safe word? The safe word was Buck Hunter. We didn't have a safe word. So anyways, that's my whole story. So out of selling the cabs, now I've made room for my Midway Legacy cab and my Capcom Legacy cab to come in. Plus, I have room after 2 of those are set up for, I think, 3 more Arcade1Up cabinets to go in my arcade. So I know I want to get Dragon's Lair, Killer Instinct, and X-Men. So I might be out of room again at that point. So I kind of want to know from you guys maybe some cool tips that you can give me past this point, because I've exhausted pretty much everything I know except for I have a little bit of extra room left in my storage room that I think I'm going to make into a mini arcade overflow space. And that's the only other option I've got right now. I don't know what to do other than to buy a new house or to possibly build out on the house that I have. Why are the legacy cabs being built in such low quantity? eBayers making a killing in the secondary market. Alex T, the reason is because there is a massive chip shortage and there's problems with the pandemic, so they are trying their best to get them in. The good thing about those legacy cabs are, like they've said over and over again, they're an evergreen product, so that means they will always be in stock. So while it might be hard to get them right now, it won't be hard to get them in the future, and they will always be available. It won't be like Rampage and Final Fight, how you can't find them anymore. P-Dub's Arcade Loft and a couple other people have this right. Yeah, get a bigger house. Alfred Berger asked me, Michael B., you're not getting the Tempest cabinet. I might be, but I've been pretty adamant about this. Like, I have Centipede. As long as Arcade1Up comes through and sells that Centipede light-up marquee, I'm good. It's a vertical screen. That's how I want to play Centipede. I don't want to play Centipede on the horizontal screen where it's smaller. And, they did such a good job developing Tempest, but they put a horizontal screen in it, so Tempest is going to be shrunk. I know it was. I'm not trying to discourage anybody from buying it. I think you absolutely should. It's just I'm trying to get my mind around it. And I also understand why they did it. Because of the Atari 12-in-1, there's only like 3 vertical games and the rest are horizontal. It's just, I don't know. I've got to get my mind around horizontal screen and vertical game being the main one on the cabinet. I don't like the assembly of the legacies now if we want to add graphics afterwards. Have you considered stacking your Arcade1Ups? Yeah, I have considered stacking them. I've also considered, right above my arcade, is our dining room and also our half of our fancy living room. If I can convince my wife, maybe I can build a set of stairs and make it a 2-floor arcade. So I'm working on it. It's definitely not going to happen, but I'm working on taking over half of her fancy living room that we entertain guests in and our dining room. Wish me luck. I know. See, the thing about the Tempest cab, Alan, you make a really good point there. And it just looks so beautiful. That's what's eventually going to get me to buy it. I'm also really considering buying the Pac-Man Legacy cab and selling my 40th. And the reason why is because the Legacy cab has the option to turn off that pixel smoothing, and we were told there was supposed to be a update coming to fix the pixel smoothing on the Pac-Man 40th anniversary. I don't think it's coming, and the more I look at it, the more it frustrates me because, again, like I said in my review, it's a cool option, but it should never be the default. So someone else mentioned do the Retro Ralph storage unit. I can't. I don't know how people do that where, like, I've never been that guy. Like, I will figure out a way to get rid of stuff out of my house. I can't justify paying rent on something to store something. Like, that just would make me crazy. The overflow space may be that, where I can put arcades in the overflow and then put them in and out when I want to use them. So that's an option. Well then, I still need like 600 subscribers. I may have missed that, Jeff. I'm not 100% sure. So I'll tell you about another stupid thing I did this past week. So I had pre-orders in for the Midway Legacy and the Capcom Legacy cabs with Best Buy here in Canada. And I was patiently waiting. I noticed that people were getting the Midway Legacy cab from the source, and I noticed people were getting the Midway Legacy cab from the brick. And I didn't get any update from Best Buy. And I reached out to Resource Group here in Canada, the Arcade1Up supplier, to the retailers, and I said, what's going on with Best Buy? And they told me, Best Buy have the cabs, so they should be coming out any day now. So then I reached out to Best Buy again, and Best Buy told me, sorry, what you have is a pre-order, so your pre-order will be shipped days before the release date. And that's what I was confused by. I said, release date? They had a release date put down there of the 15th, which was an arbitrary number that meant absolutely nothing because there was no release date for these cabinets. So I reached back out to Resource Group, Arcade1Up Canada, and anyways, I told them, I said, they have an arbitrary release date. So I got really stupidly mad, and I canceled my pre-orders with Best Buy, and I decided to order with the source because I had seen other people say they deliver really quick, deliver really fast, so I did that. And I was like, yep, all right, excellent. I'm going to have these in a week, and, Best Buy is not even going to send these out till a couple days before the 15th anyways. I wake up the next morning, and Best Buy has changed the release date to immediately, and have started shipping out the pre-orders. The pre-order I canceled. And I have been waiting patiently since last Wednesday when I placed my order to today, and the source still hasn't sent out my pre-order. I contacted them today, and they told me, too bad. They'd probably get it shipped in a couple days or so. So my impatience, which led to me canceling my Best Buy pre-order and then reordering through the source, has cost me big time. The funny thing is, if I order from the source, if I order from Best Buy today, I will get my cabinet faster than the order I placed with the source last week. So I decided I was going to try to do that again. Fourth time's the charm on ordering these. But then the source won't let me cancel because their policy is a lot like Walmart's. Basically, the only time you can cancel is 30 minutes after you place your initial order. So, yeah, through all kinds of impatience and hoops, I have put myself ridiculously back on my Legacy cabinet. So, that Atari Legacy cabinet, I don't know what happened with that. I know Brent Goddard, you've mentioned pre-ordered with Best Buy Moncton. The brick says July. No one knows. In the U.S., they've already got Midway, Capcom, and Namco, which is the Pac-Man cabinet, but no one's heard anything about the Atari Legacy. And maybe there is some conversation within Arcade1Up what they're doing with the screen. Maybe there's some delay in that respect because no one knows. It's just not available right now. Or maybe what we've seen so far was a mock-up, and they actually haven't made the form factor and got it set up. So, yeah, I guess Atari Legacy will be June, July, which is actually the same time we're expecting for Arcade1Up to release the rest of their cabinets. Yeah, that's the big thing. I am not a patient dude, man. I wish I was. And every time I see one of these Arcade1Up come up, the minute I order it, I am like the worst because I'm on my phone. I'm checking the app every single day, even though I know, sit down, be calm, wait for it to come. I can't help myself. I'm constantly there, constantly on like the sites, checking the status, checking, especially when I get my shipping notice. I watch that I'll check it like 40 times a day. I shouldn't. Sometimes you just got to sit back and let it happen. I wish I could be that relaxed and that cool about it, but I want some stuff. See, that's what I'm really excited about. 8-Bit Vinyl mentions the best part of the Capcom Legacy cab is the ability to pause and change the difficulty settings. Pause especially, because, I'm down in my arcade, and I'm playing through Final Fight, which I love to do. I love beat-em-ups, and I can play through Final Fight every single day. But you can't pause the original cabinet. So then my wife FaceTimes me, and she's freaking out because she needs help with the kid. And I'm like, what do I do? Do I get in a fight with my wife and explain to her that I'm halfway through Final Fight and don't want to lose my progress? Or do I just go help her? Now, you can get the ability to pause, and I can just go do my stuff I need to do and come back down. So, there we go. Yeah, I think a lot of us are the same with shipping and following tracking. Like, Burger Time was hard last summer because I didn't know it was coming to Canada, so I ordered directly from Arcade1Up, and I ordered later, thankfully. But I watched it for 2 months, watching, waiting for that update, and I had just given up hope, and I just stopped. And then one day I get my shop notification and I was like, oh my God, it's actually shipping. And at the time, this is also right around the same time that all the riots had started to happen in the US. And super selfish here, but I was thinking, man, I hope, hope my Burger Time doesn't get destroyed on the way here. And thankfully it made it here safe and sound. So yeah. I'm the same way, and I've been getting lately are $50 counter cans. Yeah, I do like that about the At Games Legends Ultimate too. The only thing I don't like with the At Games Legends Ultimate, and maybe it's something dumb I'm doing, but I'll be in a game and I'll pause it, but when I come back on, sometimes it adds a coin. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it's probably just, yeah, Burger Time was heard. It was heard. My Newfoundland accent's coming through there. Imagine if you could rewind. I don't want to rewind. I will never use the rewind function in an arcade. Like, ever. Like, I get it, and that's fine for some people, but I've never used rewind function in an NES game. I've never used rewind function in an arcade game. Gotta fire and forget, Mike. Yeah. Ed, did you order At Games Legends Pinball after Crow got his? If you got into it, were you in the same wave? I haven't talked to you in a while about it, so I'd love to know if you picked up the pinball after. That's cheating. Yeah, I agree. I don't like the rewinding thing. Like, even with save states, like I've always been a big proponent of, like, someone who beats like Ninja Gaiden. I've never beat Ninja Gaiden legitimately. The only way I've ever done it is set up a save state right at the beginning of the first boss. And I will never take that W. Even though the game cheats, and it's horrible, and it cheats, I will never take that W. Ironic for a guy called Game Genie. I know. I explained Game Genie last time, guys. Yeah, like, rewind feature, like, you're playing Galaga, and you get your double ship, and then you lose your double ship. What are you, just going to rewind to get it back? Like, how do you, like, there's no skill to that. That takes away from your score. But then again, no, I haven't yet, but I plan to. Okay, so you didn't order one from the site. Keep an eye on Sam's Club. Sam's Clubs are doing drops where you can get the At Games Legends pinball there. But they're up to wave 3 now, so should be available pretty soon, Ed. The game cheats. Ninja Gaiden does cheat because it changes the rules for the last level and the last boss especially, because if the first time you face him, the very first time you face him, you will actually regain your energy between each form. There's 3 forms and you regain your energy each time. The very first time you face him. If you die, well, you might as well turn off the game, because the next time you face him, after you go all the way back to the beginning of the level, you don't regain your energy from boss stage to boss stage. You have to be pretty much perfect through the 3 bosses. Now, you rewind for games you need to beat that send you back to the beginning, not high score games. Yeah, listen, play however you want to play. I'm just saying rewind's not for me. That's all. Yeah, okay. Good luck on Sam's, Ed. Rewind didn't exist before, so it's hard to use now. And some of us use that too. I think there's Rewind on the NES. There's Rewind on Legends Ultimate, and there's Rewind on the NES online games for the Switch. I can't remember. Just ordered Pac-Man and Street Fighter 2 bar stools. Are you happy with yours, Michael? I am, except on my Pac-Man stool, which I love. My Pac-Man stool was probably my favorite. I had a problem where one of the screws that go from the stool into it actually broke and went up into the stool. So now I'm missing one of the screws that are supposed to connect the legs to the stool because it went up in. So I've got to look at some videos to try to figure out the R word. What's the R word? Sorry to drop it. What? Purists. Sorry to drop the R word. Rewind. Is that what you're talking about? I wish I can rewind the last date I was on. Zohar, I thought you had a woman. What happened, brother? Is it Ninja Gaiden or Ninja Gaiden? Well, that's the question. According to the wizard, it's Ninja Gaiden. Same thing happened to my backband stool. I just think it's a unfortunate coincidence with these stools that some of them just, just going to break like that. But, yeah, I have 4 stools, and only one of mine had a problem with it. That's it. So I like my stools. The only thing I will say is I really wish the people in the factory were a little bit more careful putting on the final graphic, because like my Star Wars and 2 of my Turtle stools are all like askew. They do not go on right. So yeah, the art's on a little crooked, and I'm OCD too, so it drives me nuts. My Pac-Man stool's pretty good. On to the next. I'm sorry, buddy. Good luck on the next one. I rewind and do the same thing and think that is called in. Yes, doing the same thing over and over. I wondered if I should have ordered 2 Pac-Man stools. It's so nice looking, but I wanted 1 each. No, I mean, I have 2 Turtle stools, and everybody said I was crazy doing that, but I love the way they both look in front of my Turtles cabinet. Yeah, and she's a dentist and makes more than me, so she's not into me anymore. Zohar, I will tell you an old trick. You lie about how much you make. That's always the trick. You lie. No, you don't. If financial is the basis behind your dating, you did good to get away from her. That's never. But at the same time, I will admit that when I was in my mid-20s, Michael, what creamer are you having tonight? I actually don't do creamer. I do a little bit of milk. Little tiny bit of milk. So I used to do... WKRP in Cincinnati is here. I know. I'm sorry you're late. That's okay, man. You didn't miss too much. I just told the craziness about what happened with my arcade. And we're on to the second part where we're now talking about Ask Me Anything. No creamer. I used to, when I first started drinking coffee, and I worked at a Tim Hortons for years. So I, unfortunately, used to drink like 10, 11, 12 coffees. Scott Gray! Welcome, Scott Gray. Just got all the fire stools for your... No, never. I'm never buying that fire stool. I hate that fire stool. Zohar makes 200K and tells all these dates he makes 80K. Yeah, I don't like materialistic. But anyways, when I was in my mid-20s and I was finishing school, I was kind of selfish about who I would date. I wanted to make sure I was dating somebody who was kind of in the same place I was and wanted the same things. I don't know if that's selfish or not, but there was a couple people that, I was newly single right before I met my life. Hey, Stevie Richards! That is so cool, guys! Stevie Richards is here. Thank you so much for joining. And yes, man, that was my pleasure. I was so excited to get to talk to you. So thank you so much, Stevie Richards. Yes, Polo's here too, Stevie. I think Your Average Gamer is also in the chat somewhere too. They were on the chat as well. So, anyways, the story was, I went through that. It's tough. That level, Zohar. We're off track with the gaming stuff here now. Anyways, let's get back into it. So, this is all about Ask Me Anything. That's the point we're into. I want you guys to ask me. If you have questions, I'm here to answer. So let me know. Hit me with what you got. I've talked enough tonight. I've kind of been rambling on here. You guys hit me with what you want to hear from me. Yes, the Stevie Richards. Does anyone know RGT's 85's real name? It's killing me. Sean. Sean's his real name, Zohar. Anyone know how to reach Elaine Turcotte? Previous chat said he makes light up marquees in Canada, but I can't find any info. Gene G, please come to the Arcade1Up Canadian fan page. He's on that. You can find Elaine Turcotte there. You can also look up BT Props, which is his company, and that's who he puts his stuff out through. So that's the place to go. Gene G, if you have a Facebook account, come to the Arcade1Up Canadian fan page. I did ask a question. Nesatic, what was your question? Sean. Every time I see an Elvis singer and Stevie Richards together, Stevie Kick goes down. It was a blue Christmas. That's awesome. When will Arcade1Up reveal a 6-player X-Men? I don't think there's one coming, guys. I'm sorry. Which is my favorite pinball of the Arcade1Ups? It's the Attack from Mars. But I really do. I like them all, but the Attack from Mars is the best pinball. What's my favorite cabinet? My favorite cabinet is Star Wars. Alan, should I sell my Final Fight? Are you getting the Capcom Legacy? If you are, let me try my Capcom Legacy first and I'll tell you. Can Super Game Room dudes do a Galaga Gen 2 Countercade mod competition? Well, I had to get... Hi, Steve Sale! You going to rejoin UAG's pinball tournaments? I miss you in them. So, Polo, I went and tried to get the Jurassic Park tables last night, but they had gone back up. So, the tournament now is on the Getaway. I had the Getaway, so I can play that one for sure. What games are Arcade1Up releasing? Hello, Insider. They're releasing Killer Instinct, X-Men, and... All right, so real questions, and there's a super chat there. I'm going to do the super chat first. Sling Spade, thank you so much. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the new Arcade1Up releases this summer? You know, because you saw that leak. See, that's a good roundabout question to ask, and I'll answer this. I don't know for sure if the leak I saw is accurate, and it never came from Arcade1Up. It came from another person in the community that basically had got some information from a retailer, shared it with me. I saw it and said, wow, I should make a video. Then I thought about it and I said, no, that's a jerk thing to do. If these are real, and that would completely take all the wind out of Arcade1Up sale. And even though I'm sure I would have got tons of views on the video, I decided not to do it. But if what I saw is real, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited. I mean, you can guess kind of what's going to be coming out. They have a roadmap, and they've been pretty open about the roadmap. They're going to try to make the top 50 arcade games of all time, so it's probably going to be some games that are around there. I'm not going to say anything other than that, but yeah, I'm really excited. And I will say that I mentioned earlier, I have room for 3 cabinets. I did mention earlier, I also need to make room for more, so... Alright, so we had other questions back here. Ever regret selling your NES collection or the portion of it? You know what? I thought I would. I thought I would be really upset when I did. And no. Surprisingly, no. As much as I enjoyed collecting it and doing all that stuff, it became a massive burden in a way. And I know that sounds horrible, but... I don't know what to say other than that. Like, there's the stuff I kept. I really appreciate that. Most of that was stuff people had sent me. I regret that I never finished and never got to share that with people, especially all the people that had gone in with me. But in terms of playing it, realistically, I had 700 NES games, and I played 30 of them regularly. I got rid of most of them. I still played the same 30 regularly. How certain are you about a Robotron cab? I'm not that certain about a Robotron cab. I don't think we're getting a Robotron cab. I think we're getting a Smash TV cab that might have Robotron on it. And, you know, I try to read between the lines of what people say, like Retro Ralph and Console Kits are pretty connected with Arcade1Up, and they know a lot of stuff. So, I mean, they've been talking a lot lately about that, but mainly Ralph has been talking a lot about NARC. So I have an outside feeling that it might actually be a NARC cabinet that also has the other Williams games on it. So maybe it'll be a NARC cabinet with Smash TV Total Carnage, and also Robotron on it. I don't know if that's better, but Ralph's been talking a lot about Narc lately. I think that's coming from somewhere, if you want to read between the lines. Top Spot asks me, II Arcade versus At Games Legends versus Arcade1Up. What's the best, your favorite? See, that's so hard to answer because they all do something differently. Let me come back to that one because I'll answer that a little bit differently. It depends on what you want. This is an old one. You guys won't know this one, but EdT1138 says, what is Ronald Bellman's favorite arcade cabinet? And do you and he still hang out? I haven't seen Ronald in a while, Ed. In a very long while. But maybe Ronald should come back. Retro Video Game Weekly. And I could do it live. I could probably get StreamYards up and interview somebody live with Ronald Bellman. How about that? His favorite arcade cabinet, it was Root Beer Tapper. Okay, so I had another super chat here I want to get to really quick. Blink 30 times if it's Cruisin' or Blitz. Sorry, guys. No Cruisin' or Blitz this year. I can tell you that. I know, P-Dubs. Stevie Richards, right? Okay, so talking a Canadian accent if it's Blitz. I don't think we're getting Blitz this year, guys. Sorry. I think Blitz might be a next year thing. So here's the thing. In terms of the build, II Arcade has the best build, hands down, of all these arcade cabinets. It's a premium build. It feels premium. The controls, everything feel really good. If you're in it for the build and overall quality, you want an II Arcade. At Games have really, really, really good controls and the ability to be an awesome multi-cade. If you want a lot of games plus the options to add more, that's what you get for the At Games. But if you're also looking to really live in that nostalgia factor and have a lot of cabinets with the cool art on the side that reminds you of being in the arcade and play a couple games really well with designated controls for those games, that's where Arcade1Ups come in. That's the best way I can explain that question. What's my favorite? It depends on what I want to play that day. Will we be seeing polygons this summer? I don't know how to answer that one, Sling Spade. You're gonna have to be more. Yeah, II Arcade build quality is fantastic, Stevie Richards. Like the thing, like I got my boxes when my II Arcade came. I was lucky enough. Jong sent me one for review, and when my boxes came, they were so beat up. I was so worried about it, but I took it out, and all the parts were just in amazing shape, and it was a real joy to put together. Everything felt really good. This thing is built like a tank, and you're getting your money's worth with it. All right, Sling Spade, I'm sorry. Thank you very much for the super chat, but you're gonna have to give me a good idea of a little bit more of an idea of what you mean by polygons. Like, are you talking about polygons like in a fighting game? I want Sinistar to be on a future cab so I can skin it with that artwork. Chris Zeke. Yeah, that'd be an interesting one. Really, really interesting. Brad O'Connell. II Arcade is even offering arcade tempered glass. That is really, really super cool. That's a step above. I think that's a great thing they're doing there. Will Wi-Fi be a standard feature for Arcade1Up cabinets going forward? Polo, no. I don't think it will be. Do I think it should be? Absolutely. Because the way they can update these cabinets through Wi-Fi, like for those people out there with an NBA Jam cabinet, or for those people out there with an X-Men versus Street Fighter or Marvel versus Capcom, they know how easy it is. I mean, basically, it just happens. There's an update. Like, you turn on your cab, you're like, we're going to update now. And that's all you got to do. But in terms of the games that need to be updated, I mean, it's basically like performing the, what's it called? The hack for the NES Classic. Yes, you have the tempered glass already, Stevie. I definitely got to see that. Did I get an MVSX cabinet? Not yet. I was supposed to get a review one. We talked about it on Super Game Room Dudes. Oh, P-Dubs, why'd you tell me that? Big reveal tomorrow on his II Arcade live stream. Okay, guys. Everybody tune in to Jong's live stream tomorrow. P-Dubs says he's got a big reveal. Like, I know a little bit. P-Dubs knows everything. P-Dubs is right in with Jong. So, he's saying that it's a big reveal. Check it out. Mario, my other Canadian friend, Mario Reno. Mario, are we ever going to get our Marvel vs. Capcom cabinets here? And Mario wants to say hello to Stevie Richards as well. Must see TV tomorrow. Anything with polygons, yes or no? I don't know, Sling Spade. I don't know. Thank you again for the super chat. Streets of Rage 4. I don't think it's Streets of Rage 4. Space Ace is a home run. On the II Arcade, yeah, Space Ace is awesome. I got to play it there the other night. You guys tuned in Saturday night. I played it live. It was late, and it was actually my first time playing Space Ace. And, you know, for someone's first time playing Space Ace, I scored 105,000 points. I thought that was pretty good. Certainly a lot better than what P-Dubs did. Yeah, I know. We talked about that, the anxiousness with it. And, like, we were, like, I told you about this. Like, I was told dead certain we weren't getting Marvel vs. Capcom last year. And then you guys were so adamant about it. You got David McIntosh in our Arcade1Up Canadian chat. And all of a sudden it became a reality, even though they told me it wouldn't. And now we're waiting. We're still waiting. And we're waiting and we're waiting. And it's got to be frustrating for you guys. I feel so bad because I have my X-Men vs. Street Fighter. I can jump in, enjoy it. And Streets Rage 4 would be epic. Brad O'Connell says, skip Dragon's Lair Arcade1Up. I'd like to tell you I'm going to do that. I'd like to, but I'm probably not Brad O'Connell. Will Piepacker become a big deal and compete with Steam for online matchmaking? I don't know. P-Dubs says he's practicing. Well, P-Dubs, maybe we'll add this to the list of games we can play against each other. We've already going to have a fight in X-Men vs. Street Fighter at some point, brother. Sling Spin. You got me off guard here. I don't know what you mean by games with polygons. Like, I'm trying to think, like, completely, I'm at a blank here. I don't think so, man. Like, I don't think there's anything coming. There's no virtual racing or no arcade correct scoreboard. Brad O'Connell, I got a feeling that's going to be updated. I don't think we've seen the final on that. This is not going to be announced for pre-order until closer to the summer. And yeah, we'll see. If they drop The Simpsons, I'll be tempted to snag that. Well, that was the big rumor. I thought that was a surefire can't miss when they did their CES announcement. I thought the 4-player fighter cabinet was going to be Simpsons, and I was blown away that it was X-Men. It completely came out of left field. I'd be very surprised if we don't get Simpsons this year. But then again, I said that when we were heading into CES announcements, so we'll see. Games with polygons are 3D games, John says. No, I don't think there's any 3D games coming. No. No, there's no other photo booth planned. And I actually like the photo booth. I thought it was a pretty cool idea, them getting in with Polaroid and trying to do something different. So I have no problem. If the release is Simpsons, act normal. Because of Rome, I have to purchase just from Arcade1Up for now. I have to keep the wife happy. Well, you can do what I did, and I moved my stuff that wasn't Arcade1Up likely into a different space. And I love where my Legends Ultimate is now, and I love where my Arcade is now. Like, I can stream on my Arcade like I did Saturday night. I just pull my Arcade over, hook it into my computer here, and then I'm streaming. So I like that option, and then it gave me more room to pick. I wish we had a Futurama beat-up. John, how are you, my friend? Guys, John Riggs is here in the chat. What do you think is in store for this amazing home arcade market? Just more of the same, new games, full-size cabs, new players entering the market, etc.? Steve Drumhiller, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that, yeah, new players are going to enter the market. I think that people are going to see the success of Arcade1Up, and they're going to look at opportunities to jump in to find out what Arcade1Up is not doing. So if Arcade1Up doesn't have exclusive licenses, other people can jump in, and maybe other people can get the market first, with full-size cabinets, because I think that's where we're missing now. It's got to be at the right price point. And the magic of what Arcade1Up has done is they've actually been able to put their arcades in flat packet in a way that could be sold in stores. If you take a look at like the other offerings like AtGames Legends Ultimate, if you take a look at even the Arcade1Up Pinball, and then also the II Arcade, those come in kind of bigger boxes, and it's a little bit harder to get them actually available in storefronts. So a lot of that market is, sure, they can still sell them through Walmart, but you won't get that impulse buy. How many games and or games are on the leak? Sling Spade, you're killing me, man. A lot of stuff that we haven't seen yet. Again, I don't know for sure if it's real, but a ton of stuff we haven't seen yet. I don't want to talk about the leak too much because, again, I don't want to get into it. This is Arcade1Up. Like, honestly, if it's real, it really do a lot of damage to the stuff they got coming out, and I don't want to do that. I want a $300 Cab Max, lower quality one for $200. Whew. That's a tough one. I think the price point's gone up, Tony C. Kong's at us. Chillin' Chat Mondays is where it's at. Hi, Kong. Thank you so much. I think the cabs are going up. Our minimum right now for every Arcade1Up that comes with the light-up marquee, the riser, and the arcade is going to be $499 US. They're still going to have $300 cabs, $299 cabs, which are going to be the legacy cabinets with no riser and no light-up marquee. And then you're also going to be able to buy the legacy, I think, at that $399 point with the light-up marquee and the riser. But yeah, I don't think we're going to get a cheaper price point on these cabinets. WKRP in Cincinnati asks, I really hope they do a golden T because I can't find the original one anywhere. Have you checked with the Brick? I went to the Brick there last week and they had 2 still in the box. They might be able to do something for you. I'm not sure if London Drugs might still have some of the Golden Tea cabinets, but the Brick might be your best shot. I miss P-Dubs. I hate Mondays on Sunday night. I know, right? Smash TV, Robotron, and Total Carnage would be a must-buy. 100% Mario Reno. I mean, I've said it a million times. If they do that cabinet, I want to see it with the Robotron art, but I know most people want Smash TV. I'm at a point where I would love Robotron, but I just want to see it. Vision thing, MVSX with stand and shipping was like $1,000 here. That sucks. So here in Canada, we got really lucky. Canada Computers actually put it out, and you could buy the stand and the cabinet together for $5.99 Canadian, and then it was $75 shipping. So if I wanted to go that way, that's the way I'm going to go. The other thing that Jason brings up here, WKRP in Cincinnati, John D has talked about this. There is possibly a chance they're going to do a new Golden Tea cabinet in the near future that also has a bowling game attached. So it looks like it's going to be the same Golden Tea we already have, but it's also going to have world-class bowling on it. So you're going to have that option of Golden Tea plus world-class bowling. The only thing is, when Ralph was at CES and they showed that cabinet by accident, they did the half and half art, and I didn't really like that. I hope it's just one. Richard Johnson, hey Michael B, how's your Galaga top score going? Galaga top score is 78,000 now. What's yours, Richard? Think they will release more Star Wars down the road in Canada? Yikes, I don't know. Can you still buy it through the Brick? Like, Star Wars went on that crazy sale over Christmas too, where it was $5.49 everywhere, and the impression I got that was clearance. Would I get a Guns N' Roses pinball machine? Yes, I would do just about anything in this world to play Guns N' Roses pinball. Love Guns N' Roses. Oh, I'm about to put together my Legends pinball now. How long does it take? I've heard it's really, really short, like 15 minutes. Really easy to do. P-Dubs, if you want to start doing I Hate Mondays on Sunday night again, if you're ever looking for anybody to do that with. Dreamcast Kyle, how's it going? I don't want bowling art. I don't want it either. Like, I did not like that. I don't like the half and half art. People have been talking about a Miss Pac-Man Arcade1Up that's got half the Galaga art, just like that cab that came out for the 25th anniversary, and I do not want that. Somewhere over 100K, buddy. Well, I've got a lot more work to do, man. Yes, so a lot of people are asking this. Agent Chris, my favorite Guns N' Roses song. Oh man, it changes so much. Uh, Coma. I love Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. Of course, I was right there from Appetite for Destruction, but Coma off Use Your Illusion 1, it's just like a giant rock opera. I love everything they do, but every song, like I used to know every single word to every song. My ex-girlfriend hated getting in the car with me because at any point she knew I was going to be marathoning one of the Guns N' Roses CDs, and by the time we broke up, I'm sure she never ever wanted to hear Guns N' Roses ever again. Brad, I think Detroit would win pinball, P-Dubs would win arcade, and Nostalgia and Michael B would be best at retro consoles. Well, as long as the arcade's not Space Ace, right, P-Dubs? Half and half art. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Paradise City's an awesome song. Awesome song. Civil War is good too. Oh man, I promised myself I would never sing on this again, didn't I? Yeah, Coma is a fantastic choice. The end part where he goes really fast, that's my favorite part. Oh, I can't remember it now off the top of my head. Oh man, Universal Pinball. I was so out of this, but now I'm so in. I love. That's like me listening to Number of the Beast on repeat or Master of Puppets. I'm going to make the ultimate like Metallica faux pas here now. I know everybody hates this, but I love the Black Album. And I always get in arguments with people, and I try to explain to them the Black Album is actually called Don't Tread on Me. And they're like, no, it's just a Metallica or the Metallica Black Album. But if you look on the Black Album, there's a little piece of shininess down in the corner. And if you look at it closely, it's a little snake, which is actually the same snake that used to be on Landmines, which also stands for Don't Tread on Me. So I always called it Metallica Don't Tread on Me. I know I'm totally wrong. I just can't help but see that black snake there on the Black Album. So I love the Black Album, like everything. And even the slow stuff I hated when I was a kid. Like, of course, it was our slow dance songs that we, How about favorite Fozzy song? Yes, Mike, you're 100% right. It is Judas, but before Judas, it was Enemy. I loved Enemy, but Judas has just completely taken over. Ride the Lightning was always my favorite Metallica album. What's your favorite song on that? Call of Cthulhu? Yeah, I never got into Ride the Lightning, and Master of Puppets was the only album from Metallica I never had growing up. I loved Kill 'Em All. Like, Kill 'Em All is so much faster and harder, and I don't know much of the history. Like, I love the music, but I don't know the history. So, was Dave Mustaine originally in Metallica? The guy from Megadeth? You're gonna have to explain this to me. Yeah, it's out there. I'm a huge Prince fan. The title track, Ride the Lightning. Oh, okay, got you. Just the title track, not the whole album. I just remember Call of Cthulhu. I think that was the name. Met the band Fozzy, had a signing at my store. Cool guys. That is really, really cool. Fozzy actually started up as a cover band, and then they went their own way and came up with their own music. And Justice for All, my favorite. No Love for Garage Days Revisited. Come on, guys. Yes, he was kicked out. Yeah, I thought so. Whom the Bell Tolls is fantastic. I got to go to the worst WrestleMania of all time. I got to go see WrestleMania 27. And when Triple H came out to For Whom the Bell Tolls, I went nuts. That was so cool. Of course, you can never see it again because they always redo it with just like generic music put in there. Met Jericho a few years ago in Calgary. Awesome guy. I would love to meet him. Like, he's been my favorite wrestler like my whole life. Ever since, like, not my whole life, but ever since I was 17, I think 16, 17. Loved him in WCW. We have a lot in common. We like the same music. His favorite Stephen King novels, The Stand. My favorite Stephen King novels, The Stand. So I would love to meet him someday. I'm a pretty nervous guy What's my favorite Rush tune? I'm not a good one for this. I didn't listen to a lot of Rush. The first Rush song I ever heard was Why Are We Here? Because We're Here, Roll the Bones. And I know that's probably not going to be one that everybody loves. Roll the Bones. There it is, Polo. Mine too. Yeah, I'm looking to B's Legends Pinball Review. I watched his live stream the other day, and he did that stuff where he painted the lockdown bars and stuff, and I was like, no, B, no. But I gotta say, it actually turned out pretty good. Good job, man. Oh, Tom Sawyer's a fantastic song. Brad, you might have changed it for me. I actually really fell in love with like weird classic rock a couple years ago. I grew up like a metalhead in the 80s, but I started watching a show called Supernatural. Hey, Thomas Grillo. And anyways, the funny thing about Supernatural is originally they were supposed to use like all kinds of Metallica and heavy metal music for it, but they couldn't get the license, so they shifted on the fly, and they just used like a mix of like weird like old rock stuff. They did some AC/DC and stuff like that. But anyways, I fell in love with the soundtrack they were using and started to listen to all kinds of classic rock, and that became a big thing for me. So now I'm constantly listening to classic rock. I've got a classic rock playlist that I listen to in my car, and we got a classic rock station. Yeah, the chrome vinyl wrap is a lot better, so good job on that, Kongs. I met Johnny Polo before he was Raven and recruited me and Stevie into his nest. Mike. 8-bit vinyl subdivisions. Getting me was a woman. Yes, Carry On My Wayward Son. There's all kinds of other ones too, like Styx. What's the Styx song they use? Styx Renegade. Like, there's so many amazing songs like that I fell in love with because of Supernatural. Like, just I heard one today, Bad Company, which I just a song I'd never heard of before, and it's a dope song. Oh, that is so cool, WKRP in Cincinnati. Who'd you get your art from? I might need to get into that. All right, guys. So, any other questions? I'm here for you guys tonight. You let me know. Ask me anything. Sweet Madam Blue. All right, I'm waiting on you guys. Would you upgrade your pinball to glass? Yeah, I'm 100% looking at doing it, mainly because both my Attack from Mars and my Star Wars pinball, there seems to be something weird with the cut of the plexi. The plexi's really good, but it seems like there's some kinds of weirdness with the cut where there's striations, and there looks to be some rainbowing going on depending on how you look at the screen. So I'm probably going to get the tempered glass from my Arcade1Up pinballs just for that reason, because it drives me nuts. Hollywood Polo asks a really good question. What did I think of Godzilla vs. Kong? I loved it. I know a lot of people didn't like it. People seem to be split right down the middle, but I thought it was great, and I jumped up and celebrated at one point. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. WKRP Cincinnati sent him the files. Okay, so is it based on like an original Back to the Future pinball table? Jason asks, Michael B., what's your next cab that's arriving? Hopefully, on the 13th, I'm going to get both Midway Legacy and Capcom Legacy. That's the next two cabs that I have coming. Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate that. I'm excited about pretty much all the main... I will tell you that there's stuff outside of main cabs. Like, that's a lot of what's coming up. And I'm mostly excited about the main cabs because that's what I buy from Arcade1Up. I've never really bought like a Countercade or anything else like that. So none of that stuff really jumps out to me. But like their main cabinets, they're all dope. If what I've seen is real, dope. Zohar, you thought it sucked? That's okay, man. Like, different strokes for different folks, right? Sling Spade asks a really good question. Yeah, 8-bit final, that is cool, isn't it? 140 plus. Like, the numbers for this has been great every week. I've been having so much fun. I love it. How many more years do you think the home arcade market has left in it? I don't know. I mean, like, some of this stuff, like, NES collecting, some people think that phase is past, and like it's moved now even past the N64, and people are into GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox collecting. But it all depends on how long people are interested in it, how many cabs people can do. Like, one of the problems that people have is the same problem that I'm going through right now, is space. I mean, I don't know what else I'm going to do. I got to buy a new house if I'm going to get any more cabinets. But Arcade1Up was pretty smart about that. The legacy cabs let you do consolidations if you don't want to get rid of them. Then you got some other people, like my friend Steve Victoria here in the chat. Steve is constantly selling cabinets to make room for the newer stuff. And there's people that are willing to do that too. So, I don't know. I think at one point I thought they were running out of runway, but I think there's definitely, a good 5 to 10 years left of growth, and depending on how they move in the future, how all these companies move in the future, maybe even more. What's your favorite game theme? Oh, that's so tough because, I'm so passionate about The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, and I'd like to say the main overture and also the Dark World theme. But honestly, probably Simon's theme from Super Castlevania. I love it. I think it's amazing, but there's so many good ones. It kills me. It kills me to ask me that question. Oh. Was moving the cabs a disaster in any other way than not finding enough room? No, nothing broke, thankfully. Nothing broke, thankfully. Nothing was bad in that space. The biggest disaster was I had to move everything back. Like, I didn't even finish moving before I realized I was about 95% done, and I realized I had to move everything back. And it's the fact that I had to move so much stuff which made it so hard. I apologize if my video title and everything was a little bit misleading. Ooh, and frenetic. That's why I have a few mod them with the PC. Yeah. Michael, you inspired my home arcade and now getting the looks from the missus. Sean, I'm sorry. But it's so fun, right? This hobby is so amazing. Like, I never would have thought as a kid that I would have an arcade in my house. Like, I never thought that was something that was possible. But it's not impossible. I wish that there was more options. Like I mentioned, I went over to this guy Mike's house, Mike Dennis. I don't know if it was Mike Dennis or Mike Denny. I don't know how to say his name exactly. I have to go back and double check because he has a different Facebook name than his actual name. But I got to talk to my friend Chris Kelly, and me and Chris were talking about how hard it is to find arcade cabinets here in Newfoundland where we live, the island. And I mentioned a lot of times, and people are always like, just get real cabinets. It's impossible. It's impossible. There's nothing left here. Like, basically, Chris is one of the only people left that's even remotely an operator just because he bought cabs and restores them. There's another guy that I went to university with, Ralph Link, who bought up a bunch of stuff, and he's up in Central. But, like, I mean, I don't know what he's doing with that. And then all the rest of the cabinets were bought by this Newfoundland arcade guy. And what this guy did was he basically just bought up everything and then destroyed it and put in Raspberry Pis or what's the other one? Put in the fight stick into it. He did, what are those fight sticks called that everybody bought? Oh man, I can't believe I can't remember this off the top of my head. Pandora's Box mods. He did Pandora's Box mods, and every single original arcade cabinet he came across, he basically just put an LCD into it, Pandora's Box, and sent them back out and charged people $2,000. So we don't have a lot left here, and if you do come across something, it's usually in pretty bad shape and beyond repair. So I'm lucky enough that I've started to make connections with people that have stuff. Chris, he's doing an awesome thing now where he's using some of his personal collection and putting it out in arcades. And he actually, right next to my wife's work, there's this place called the Geek Bar, and he's put a bunch of his pinball tables down there. So as of sometime this week, I'm gonna go to the Geek Bar and I'm gonna get to play Bram Stoker's Dracula pinball. And if you guys know anything about pinball, you know how good Bram Stoker's Dracula is. So I'm looking forward to that. Pitbull, what's happening, brother? I actually was just saying about having arcades in the house to Third Floor Arcade today. We all love it. Exciting. Oh, yeah, and that's the other thing, too. Ed is 100% right. Like, Ed is in Ohio, and even then, like, even places where you're connected and available, like, people are, becoming more and more aware of what these things are, and finding, like, $100, $200 arcade cabinet, you're never going to find it. Hollywood Polo, I am so behind on my TV. I still haven't got a chance to watch Invincible. I'm sorry, brother. Bob brings up a good point, too. That's the other reason that I'm totally okay with Arcade1Up stuff. It's because I moved all that stuff. If I didn't have, 60-pound Arcade1Up cabinets or whatever they weigh, do you know how hard it would have been to try to move that? I would have been dead. I would be dead right now. Dead in the ground. My wife gave me the, whoa, I thought you said 2 the other week. Yeah, my wife was super happy when she was sitting across from me when I put in my order for 2 of those legacy cabinets at the same time. Super happy. A magnet is under the playfield in Dracula Pinball. The true hero is in the chat. Your average gamer, you're going to have to tell me. I check all the time too, Dreamcast. Not much, and prices are crazy. Big money for junk. Yeah, here in Canada, we have a Canadian Pinball Collector Group, and it's bananas. Like, you're paying beyond full price if you ever see a pinball table. Then you got to get it shipped here because there's just none in Newfoundland. Anything that are here are just finished building my Robotron Mini, sold my full size. Wow, you sold your full size Robotron. No, man, what are you doing? Oh. No. A lot of people also, there's a lot of Robotron cabinets out there that people took and made into multi-Williams. I don't know what they do. At least Michael knows I'm the right back specialist if he ever hurts his back moving arcades. That's true. RGB and region modded and picked up Rondo of Blood at the same time in 2019. Tell you a funny story. I tried to play a ripped version of Rondo of Blood on my Turbo Duo a couple years ago, and it did not go well. That's one real arcade cabinet. If I could get a Robotron, I would throw all sense out the window and pick up a Robotron. No, there's a couple. If I did have access, I'd probably have real arcades. There's no question about that. I went to see a guy this summer, this guy Bern Hickey, who was an operator here in the province, and he was great, but it was a little hard to deal with. He wanted to sell me what he had, and he didn't really want to show me the rest. That's kind of his MO. Look at what I have right now, and that's what's available, even though he has more stuff. So I told him I was there to cherry pick, but he was yeah, buy some of these coin machines and also buy some of that. And I was I don't want any of that. I want Donkey Kong. I want Robotron. And, Oh, Bob, you're a lucky man. I played Buck Hunter, and it is super cool. Thank you so much for the super chat, too, by the way. I played Buck Hunter, and it's super cool, but after the breakdown with my arcade and realizing what space I had, I couldn't pull the trigger on it. Would I get a Splatterhouse Arcade1Up cabinet? No. And I know that's probably going to sound surprising, but it depends on what else came on it. And honestly, I attribute Splatterhouse more with the TurboGrafx 16. And when I play Splatterhouse, that's how I want to play it. It's kind of like if Arcade1Up ever came out with a Bubble Bobble arcade cabinet. That's an NES game to me. I don't attribute that to the arcade. I think we will get an Arcade1Up candy cab at some point. Like that Sega Astro City. I can see Arcade1Up doing a Sega Astro City cab at one point or another. Hello, Stefano. Yes, Pitbull. I would love to see a pic of your Mini. Stefano, do you want to come say hello to everybody? This is one of my cats, Mr. Stefano Demira. And we also have another cat named Marlena Evans. You can tell I've stopped naming the cats. I still have Starscream and Baroness and Optimus Prime. What are the chances of seeing more obscure games like Scramble, Phoenix, and Gyrus? I think they will be add-on games in a cabinet. Yeah, I definitely... Well, he's gone. I know it was an Arcade Daryl before it was an NES game, but I can't tell you. It's just the way... favorite gun cab. It's Terminator 2. I love House of the Dead. Love House of the Dead, but my nostalgia point from when I was a kid going to the arcade is Terminator 2. That's the one I want. Yeah, Arcade1Up. Brad O'Connell makes a good point there. You need, like, sometimes not even AAA titles. You need stuff that people are going to see, like X-Men, attached to that Marvel branding and Marvel brand name to get it into places like Walmart and, stuff like Dragon's Lair. Yeah, Days of Our Lives, Scott. That's where it came from. My favorite Transformer 2, actually. Starscream is my favorite as well. I love Chris Latta, who did the voice for Starscream in the cartoon. He also did the voice for Cobra Commander, and I can't remember what else he did. He's not with us anymore now, so that's why you'll never have the same Cobra Commander voice, or you'll have the same Starscream voice. And I can't remember if he did anything else. He might have been in some other cartoons too. I try to keep track of that, the voice actors. I got a trivia question for you. I found out there the other day. Do you know which video game voice actor also co-wrote X-Men and X-Men 2 United? I was blown away when I saw it. Dan Z, I'm going to come back to your question in just 1 minute. Zohar, you've got a good question too. I got to come back. Let's see if you can remember. Video game voice actor co-wrote X-Men and X-Men 2 United. See how far the chat is behind. Dreamcast calls modded Batman cab. He also did a Castlevania cab too. Ed Boon, nope. I was really surprised. I had no idea. And then I had to double check it to make sure. Alright, no one's getting it, or no one cares. Danzig, stumped. It was actually David Hayter, as in Solid Snake. Snake from Metal Gear Solid actually co-wrote X-Men and X-Men 2 with Bryan Singer. Is it Bryan Singer? Yes, Steve Drumhiller got it. David Hayter. Yep, there it is. I was shocked. Shocked. All right, so there's a couple questions there. Anyone in here have the Atari Legacy coming this month? That's a good question. Has anybody got a shipping status yet? Dan Z asks, do you think Arcade1Up will ever acquire Nintendo licensing? No. I think the best they could hope for is to work with Nintendo. Some kind of partnership where they make it on behalf of Nintendo. Maybe Nintendo will still do all the licensing for it. I don't know. Nintendo's a weird company, man. But Arcade1Up have done a good job building their brand, so there's a chance. But, I mean, it's Nintendo. What games would be on a Spider-Man Arcade1Up? I have no idea. That might be one of the ones where they've got a... Maybe, because Sega made that, right? So, I mean, That's a tough one. It's Sega willing to work with Data East, is Sega willing to work with Konami. I mean, it's a tough one. Zohar asked me, am I thinking of getting rid of another 1UP cab this summer for whatever comes out from them? Not right now. I'm going to be disappointed if they don't come through and eventually release the Marvel Superheroes and the Centipede light up marquees, because those are the only two dark marquees in my arcade right now, and it's driving me nuts. And I don't want to go third party for the marquees for them. Ryan Garber, I can do pretty good Beetlejuice. So a lot of people are saying, Snake! Yes, Champi's got it. So a lot of people are saying, yeah, they've got the Atari Legacy pre-ordered. We'll see. Punisher, Spider-Man, X-Men all in one. I would love to see it, but that'll be tough because that's Capcom, Sega, and Konami right there. Pitbull, check your Michael B. the Game Genie Facebook page. All right, let's do that live right now. Switch profile. I do like how Facebook have changed their options on that and made it a lot easier. You don't got to go through. All right, message. Let's see if it came through here. Oh man, that is awesome. What's that car in the background too? Wow, that is awesome, man. Knife Teeth, you did miss the moving story. I'm so sorry, brother. Just got rid of Golden Tea. A lot of people love that Golden Tea cabinet. Oh, wow. Anything MK related at all this summer? Yes, Soher. I don't think it's something you're gonna love, but yes, there is definitely some MK coming. More MK coming this summer. Yes, Scott Gray brought this up. Did you see the GRS racing wheels and gear shifter coming? That's one of the other reasons I'm also still thinking about getting the Outrun cabinet, because a lot of people are complaining about the wheels actually really good, but complaining about the gear shifter and the pedals. But if Glenn has something coming out, that's going to be arcade quality, so absolutely. Dreamcast Kyle asks an excellent question. If you could only pick one, Killer Instinct or X-Men? X-Men for me. Honestly, I know that's going to be an odd answer, but I love beat 'em ups, and a beat 'em up I can play online with other people. Yeah, X-Men. Do you have any old pictures of yourself as a kid in the arcade? I have a newspaper clip of me in our town arcade when I was a kid. A great pic to be framed to the game room. Dwayne, I wish I did, but like going to the arcade was something I did with my dad, and he wasn't exactly a big picture guy for that kind of stuff. Can you at least tell us if there's a shooter or a driving cab? No, there is not another shooter or a driver cab. There's not a shooter or a driving cab coming this year. We got what we're going to get. I think you're going to be looking at shooter and driving cabs next year. Again, X-Men was always my jam. Yep. Do you think people would pay for cabs that have unique controls but only have two games on it, like Paperboy, Tapper, Tron, Heavy Barrel? I would. Slingsbait, I completely agree with you here. So I would 100% do it. Like, if there was a Robotron cab and that was the only game on it, yes, I would 100% buy that cab just for Robotron, if it had Robotron's correct controls. What are some other games? Like Q*bert is another one. I know P-Dub's Arcade Loft has been waiting forever for a Q*bert cab to come out. So if they did that, that'd be a big one. Do you think Arcade1Up will do more light gun cabs? Oh, in the future, for sure. I think if you go by what Justin's kind of been putting out there, I think, what's it called? Time Crisis might be the next one, but I'm really surprised they wouldn't go right to House of the Dead next. That would be the big one. I mean, for them to do a shooter game, everybody would go nuts about House of the Dead. Chronicles of Sub-Zero. What was it? They have the license, they're not using it. Because, Brad, exactly what we're just talking about right now is they don't know what to do with Qbert. I think we might eventually see Qbert in Countercade. But the problem with it is it's that vertical controls. The only ones they can do are Qbert and Qbert Cubes, and they're not sure. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Pitbull. They're not sure if they could sell a Qbert cab at that price point with just 2 games on it, or if actual retailer would pick it up from them, right? Oh, Zohar, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't want to say anything else. Thank you for the super chat. I love Heavy Barrel. I love Heavy Barrel on the NES. Heavy Barrel is on the... It's on the Legends Ultimate. It's one of the included games, so you can play it there. But the controls are with the actual joystick. I don't know how much different that is. As much as I love House of the Dead, I think Time Crisis will be the next one. Dreamcast Kyle, 100%. I'm with you. As much as Justin and Ralph have talked about Time Crisis, I think that's next up in the pipes. But the crazy thing about... Well, no, it uses the same kind of graphics. Dwayne Burgess said, I made a House of the Dead cab using my PS3. I have House of the Dead 2 and 3 on the Wii, and that's how I've been playing it. But a lot of people have used that to make House of the Dead cabs as well. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You're 100% right. If enough people chime into Arcade1Up and say, make a limited run Qbert cab, website exclusive, we'll pay whatever, they'll make it. Just tell them. So, this smashing stuff. Oh my. Oh, throw Qbert onto a Frogger. Oh. I got to play Frogger the other day, and I gotta say I had a lot of fun with it. The music's not right, the art's not right, but I did have fun with Frogger, and I got a good score in Time Pilot as well. Time Pilot was a really fun game to play. It's a shame that cab, they couldn't have got the right art, and they couldn't have got the right music, because I would have a Frogger in my collection now. Imagine if they put the pinball kicker in Qbert. John D's actually talked about Area 51 and combining it with other titles from other licensors like Lethal Enforcers. That would be dope. I would love that. If I had to make a driving cab, it would be Twisted Metal. I think eventually we're going to get that Star Wars trilogy. I think that's something that's going to happen. Sling Spade says I should still totally get Frogger. Maybe I'll take a run to the bricks sometime this week and take a look at it. Frogger is better on the ALU. It plays the right music. I know. The only thing I don't like about the ALU right now, with the minicab is going to fix this. I don't like playing the vertical games on the widescreen. Like it feels like such a waste. So I've gone in through different means and played like Donkey Kong and all these arcade games I always wanted to play, but I always see that vertical screen on that giant, horizontal. And it throws me off. Need discs of Tron. Tron and discs of Tron would be a really cool cabinet. Just for the artwork alone. It's like the Dragon's Lair cab. Like, man, if they released a Tron, you just want it for how important it is for arcade history. I hope they correct the bench on future driving cabs. Yeah, I completely agree, Dreamcast Kyle. If you're going to do a seat, do the seat right. I don't know what they've got to do. We could talk about it. That could be a full video in itself. And I would love to talk to other people from the community. This would be a StreamYards thing. And basically we could live develop for Arcade1Up what their thing should be. Like that bench, they really missed the mark on it. I played Outrun. It's fun. It's not that uncomfortable, but that's not what we wanted for a driving cab. Not a bench and the very, very small Arcade1Up cabinet without the riser. That's not what we wanted. The Dim Mak Countercade, I think it was just the art. We need to make a custom flam vertical monitor bezel for Michael B. Yeah. I own 3 Arcade1Ups, NBA Jam, TMNT, and the new Pac-Man 12-in-1. If I got a 4th and final cabinet, would you suggest the Ultimate or Arcade behind you? Depends on what you want, Joshua. For the II Arcade, it's amazing. Fantastic. But it's really limited with the games that they released on it. Make sure you're aware of the library, what they're putting out, and see if that is something that fits with you. A lot of the appeal for me with the II Arcade isn't to play classic arcade games. It's to play modern games on an arcade style that you can only play that way through the II Arcade. So there's that. The AtGames Legends Ultimate might eventually let you do some of that stuff. Plus, you can bring stuff from Steam and play it on your arcade cabinet, which is a way to do some of that stuff. Plus, it also gives you that option to bring your own game on top of the amazing 300 games they already have on it. So, basically, I can't tell you which way to go. It depends on what you want, and you need to do your homework, look at the videos and reviews that are out there, and decide which one best suits what you want from it. If you want just like a multicade that's really easy to add your own games to, probably the Legends Ultimate. Yeah, Sean P., you make a really good point there. Music makes a game, and if you can't get the original music, sometimes it kills it. Frogger modded. That was probably the right way to do it. Do you mind not having the right art for it, though? Atram Fanatic? I've asked for a decent MK cab since 2018. They're consistently doing the opposite of what I want. I'm taking this... Zohar, I have told you. Thank you very much for the super chat. But I'm being 100% honest with you. It's not going to be this year, but next year. I think you're going to get an MK cab done very well that you're going to like. That's going to have Wi-Fi. We're going to get a Wi-Fi connected cab. It's going to be done really well, and you're going to love it. But it's not coming this year. I'm sorry, brother. I prefer to use a Raspberry Pi and load it up full of arcade ROMs a la RetroPie or Recalbox. Then just, see if you can get a used Arcade1Up cabinet, and you can do the, ETA Prime mod, we all call it. Do an ETA Prime mod on a cabinet. I know RGT85, he took his Final Fight, and he did a 2-button mod on Final Fight, and he's got 60... 2-button games loaded up there, and he loves it. So he's got a WrestleFest cab. So we're probably never going to get an Arcade1Up WrestleFest, so it's a great option to do that. Wi-Fi Mortal Kombat I can wait for. I'm telling you guys, Wi-Fi Mortal Kombat is coming. People are going to love the cabinet. They're going to do it justice. I've got a feeling. Yep. All right, guys. Well, let me take a look. I think I've gone longer than I even normally go on these. So let me see. Oh my God, I've got an hour and a half. I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who tuned in tonight. You guys are awesome. I didn't really have a topic other than telling you the foolishness I got myself into this week, and I've always got myself in trouble with this arcade stuff and how I'm out of room and the constant battle that we all go through of trying to find room in our arcades. And thank you for joining me. I hope that I've answered your questions in a very, very good way that I could possibly. It's 1:03 a.m. My wife got mad at me this week and told me I needed to start going to sleep a little bit earlier in the night because I've been staying up too late and I've been falling asleep during the days. So I'm going to call it a night now, guys. Thank you so very much for joining me once again. You guys have made my Monday night a very special thing and replaced what used to be wrestling for me with a cool hobby in doing this stuff. So thanks, guys. Everybody have a wonderful night. We'll see you on Friday for Super Game Room Dudes. Maybe I'll have my Star Wars pinball review ready this Thursday finally. And then next Monday night, another chill and chat with Michael B. Good night, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful Easter holiday weekend for those who celebrate it. This is Michael B. the Game Genie. I'll talk to you next time.